Hi, it's Paul Gold, and I've got on the line a very good buddy as of the last 20 minutes as we've been trying to get this call together. It's Steve Gerben. Steve, are you there?
I'm here. Hi, Paul.
At last. Got to just say, we've been trying to work through the gremlins, but we've had sneaky little numbers creeping in and messing around with our intended call. But we're here today, and the reason for getting Steve on the call is that Steve's been emailing me for the last few months with some fantastic results. So, Steve, first of all, just tell me a little bit about you, your tennis, where you are, what kind of level, where you live, etc. So just so we got some background.
Sure, Paul. I'm in my mid-40s. I've been playing doubles really since I was a young boy. My father played, and I grew to love the game. Played a little bit, all through high school and a couple years at the college level, and then gave it up for a while. Came back when I was about 35 and have been playing competitive club level doubles ever since. I've been captaining a team year round here in the northeastern part of the United States outside of Boston. We play in a league all year round against other indoor clubs. It's great competitive for adult men at a couple different levels, and been doing that 7 years. Captained 5, and we've won 2 championships. So it's all good, Paul.
So do you want to just round up the season for me and how it went and then what happened, because you ended up going in the playoffs? But you just tell the story as to almost like this is the breakdown of the season.
Yeah, we've got a good team, but not exceptionally talented like the last time we won in our league. And really this year was more satisfying because of the players we had. We finally got our doubles teams to really gel, partners working with each other, just pulling out all the close matches that they might have otherwise lost, and starting to think about how to win rather than just improving their strokes or their fitness week to week, and talking with each other on our 10-man team to try and figure out and help each other what's working, what's not, what do we need to think about to keep improving. And we were in the hunt all year, but really took off after the holiday season, and we went I think 17-1 for the second half of the season, and cruised through our semifinals and our finals in the playoffs against the other best teams in the league at that point after we had clinched the regular season. I felt that the mental side of the game and the competitive, juices flowing and people thinking about, how are we going to play to win rather than just, improving strokes. That was a key difference.
Wow. So you ended up basically winning the whole thing because you won the league, then obviously the top teams went on into the playoffs. Is
Yep.
that how it works? And then you won the playoffs into the final and won the final. So
Correct.
ultimate champions.
It was a great feeling, and our players are real proud. It's a long season. It's 26 different matches up until the playoffs, and then another 2, and to play consistently well that long and really perform when it mattered makes everybody feel good. And we've all got day jobs, but winning makes tennis that much more fun.
So what did you mean by it's working its magic?
Well, what I found was reading through a number of your ideas, and specifically, I think, it was, part about cleaning the machine, clearing the mechanism, and, thinking too much about things. and really breaking it down into, where do we want to go? What problems are we going to have to overcome? Reframing how we get from where we want to go to how to overcome those hurdles. And then working with each partner to kind of break down their doubles games and figure out how to help each other rather than more individual focus. And I think that made a huge difference in the close matches. Doubles teams really gelled.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one of the reasons why. I mean, that's at the very beginning of the course. And that's why I say it's clear the machine. Like, okay, whatever level you're coming in at, or whatever you've done before, whatever experience you've got, just get rid of all that for a minute. Just clear it. Let's clear the mist, and let's really focus on where you are and where you want to go. And two things tend to happen: either people don't do that at all, or they kind of do it towards the end because they're so concerned with, I've got to learn these shots, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and then maybe they'll go, okay, well now let's think about how I'm going to use it all. Whereas it's much more effective to do it at the beginning, and you can go straight to it. It's simplifying everything. It's just going the shortest route to where you want to go is in a straight line, and you can only do that when you know exactly where you're going. You can walk straight.
The other thing I'd say, Paul, is it helped me work with our local pro, who's our team coach, to make our practices that much more effective and really focused on things we needed to work out as a team and really raise our games. And for the most part, it was a real focus on return of serve and positioning, and as we progressed, a little more on poaching and different tactics. But we needed to get through some basics, and the format of our league with no ad scoring and timed matches. You can't afford to throw away break chances, and creating those break chances by having a more consistent and effective return of serve is of critical importance at our league level, where it's not necessarily going to be 20 or 30 shot rallies. Points are over pretty quickly in our league. So getting that ball back in play, making the server hit up, keeping the net player on the serving team guessing where you're going. All those things are really critical.
Well, what's actually, I didn't know that, but you had a coach involved in the team, and I'd said previously, don't think that I'm trying to replace any coaches, or I'm trying to say don't listen to them, listen to me. The whole idea was this is something for you to just take, generally for people to take on board. Maybe give them a few ideas, or even go to their coaches and say, okay, look, listen, I'm really thinking about this part of my game, and I really, can you help me provide some practices, or and I would be fine. I've always said that all the way along. I'd be fine and pleased if a student of mine that comes along and says, I read this or I saw this. What do you think? Can we work this in? Is this good? Does this fit in? It's not something that's supposed to be in opposition to any one particular coach that anyone might have. So the fact that you took it and said, it just cleared everything. It kind of gave you some focus to go and do things is fantastic news. Really good.
And so, some of the other coaching and sessions, every pro's obviously got a different style and things that they really believe in. And some of the other coaches in some of the more fitness-oriented tennis drilling rather than our team practices, they were very big early on the dynamic warm-up. And, so, I really instituted that with our team practices, because most of our guys are, I'm probably on the younger side in the mid-40s, so we're just more susceptible to injury than we were in our 20s, obviously. So doing the dynamic warm-up really, I think, helped people both prevent injuries and get in a place where they're warmed up and ready to move and stretch their balls that they might otherwise not have been. So I thought that helped.
Well, that's the way it does work. I mean, anyone that I've worked with, certainly in the last few years, I mean, we never step on the court, or we never go in the gym, or we never really do anything unless we know, well, what's the purpose of this court session? You know, we're not just out there to hit balls, because anyone can do that. You know, it's like it's just like your fitness, same thing. You know, anyone can get on a treadmill and run, but what are you doing it for? You know, the end result is to win games, play better, but what part of your game needs tweaking or improving, or it's good anyway, but now you want to really make it like a huge weapon or whatever. But no, it just tunes the mind in. When you go in there with that focus of, okay, today we're going to look at this. This is one little area that we're going to look at. And it's interesting, we were talking earlier before we started doing the call, we were talking about the Wimbledon final just gone. And it depends where you are in the world, what commentary you got. But I know a lot of the commentators over here were saying, looking at Novak and just saying, you know, it's great, he's just gone in and he's just improved a few things, a couple of percent here, maybe his serve has gone back to what it was and a bit more, but a 5% on the serve maybe, a 2% on the return, his retrieving is another couple of, but once you start adding that up and you end up with a 10, 15% difference, that's actually quite big. That's really big, but you can only do that by actually looking at your game and saying, right, okay, where do I need to just tweak it? Not just aimlessly sitting out there and hitting balls from baseline to baseline, or volleying from volley to volley. It's unless you engage the mind, you're not going to improve.
I totally agree with that, Paul.
Yeah.
And again, for our team, you know, we've got a number of players that are, you know, natural or more experienced singles players that are new to the doubles format, and having them kind of re-gear their minds as to what will work most effectively with their doubles partner in match play situations, and really getting them to think differently than if they were playing singles.
Just to round off, a couple of things. What for you were your favorite parts then?
Well, I think some of your recent stuff on, you know, adjusting your position when you're facing a lefty, and just by where you're camped out, and what you're looking for, what you make the lefty do with their serve if you're changing your return position. I think that came in handy in a number of matches for my partner and me, and how we were really getting ready to return serve, especially. And then 3 shots you must have, and 3 you don't. Common sense, real simple, easy to remember. But again, a number of our players, you struggle with first serve percentage and have too much of a flat second serve. And so, you know, in tight matches, double fault, and it destroys their confidence. So really getting them drilled in their head, you know, you got to have topspin or kick serve. And a couple of players that plagued them in the past. They're very good players, but that was a killer for them in a couple of matches last season. And they really worked on that and turn it around. And now, you know, their serve's a dependable weapon and much higher first serve percentage and much more confidence in hitting their second serve.
Awesome. So it obviously impacted on the team as a whole, really, not just you. I mean, you obviously brought it to the team, and like you said, you know, you through yourself directing it or you directing it via the coach, it looks like other members of the team were positively impacted by it. So that's great for me. And,
well, the other thing I'd say, Paul, is, you know, having that attitude of working with our teaching pro, our team coach, so he knows we care, we're thinking, we're trying to help him help us improve, And that kind of changed his thinking. So he's not coming to practice thinking, oh, we're just going to run our normal course of drills. These guys don't really care. It changed his attitude, much more engaged. And oftentimes, he'd fill in as the fourth person on the court, and we'd get a whole lot out of him in actual, match play. And he'd stop when there was a good lesson for any of us on how we might have played the point differently or done something that might have been much more effective. And, getting him engaged at that level made a huge difference for us too. So I thank you for that.
Listen, I'm going to wrap it up there, Steve. Thanks for coming on the line with me. It's been fantastic talking to you, and we're going to talk lots more in the future. I'm sure when you see everything else, you're going to love it. So we'll be talking more in the future. So for now, signing off, and I'm sure we'll speak to everyone soon. Thanks, guys.